Alright. What's up, everybody? We got ourselves a big best of 5 match. We've got, of course, the King of Europe, CLEM. Player who has won more European regionals in the last 3 years than anyone else. That's right, guys. Big winning record, I believe, over Serral and Raynor in the regionals. But still yet to break out in the international scene to have a big semi-finals or finals appearance there. Down here in the bottom right, an underdog. Wayne. This player used to be called, wait for it, Ratata. And before he was called Ratata, he was called Vanya. Vanya was his best name because it was a normal human name. He then changed to Ratata, which was incredibly stupid. I think he was hoping that he could win a tournament and then he could evolve. What's the next level of Pokemon above Ratata? It was some stupid reasoning like this. I never was down with it. Then he changed his name to Wayne. The only good thing about Wayne is when he wins a fight, I can say, welcome to Wayne's world, bitch. Or, you know, other times we can make Batman references. We can talk about Bruce Wayne as well. Like, but it's just annoying because it's like, just go back to Vanya. Apparently Raticate, I believe, is the next evolution according to Twitch chat. Never really played Pokemon myself. So yeah, he didn't end up evolving to Raticate. He ended up becoming just Wayne. And yeah, I kind of prefer the old days. For those who don't know, Blizzard had a really dumb rule back in the day about basically you couldn't change your name. Or if you change your name to try and stop players from just doing random dumb name changes, they said, okay, well, that's going to be your official name. It's locked in now. So Neeb changed his name to Neeblet on an account. And they told him this, and he just refused to change it because he's like, whatever, I'll do what I want. And they're like, well, your official name is Neeblet now. And he's like, yeah, fine, my official name is Neeblet. They're like, that's locked in. And they tried to force all of us commentators to call him Neeblet. And we're just like, we're not going to call him Neeblet. He's Neeb. He's been Neeb for years. He's won championships as Neeb. He's had crowds of audiences chanting Neeb, Neeb, Neeb. We're not going to call him Neeblet. And they're like, that's his official name now. Yeah, and stuff. And we asked Neeb, and Neeb's like, oh, I just wanted them to get off my back. So I said, yeah, that's my official name now. It was really dumb. And yeah, Blizzard was a bit too serious about it. It was, I mean, like, I understand because it is dumb when people change their name as much as Wayne does. Like, you don't want them to do it, but also their answer to it was not particularly effective. Anyways, nice Reaper Rest so far. Gets himself one Zergling. Wayne's doing a very solid opening. Now, for those who don't know Wayne, basically he's a king of the mid game. He is so good at getting out just a crazy number of units. I mean, I think Roddy has said many times, like, the thing about playing Wayne is, like, you think you've got everything under control, and he just has more Lairtech stuff than any other Zerg you've ever played before. Like, the Ling Bane waves do not stop. The Ravager Roaches just coming in over and over again. He's very good at hitting big, swarmy mid-game timings, and he does hit a lot of surprising timing attacks. So I've seen him do, like, big surprise 1-1 Ling Bane attacks, and even already in this game, he's hiding a few Zerglings for a run by. The problem here for CLEM is CLEM sucks against aggressive players. He's so much weaker on defense than offense. It's always been a big issue for him. And, oh, he's going to go for a run by. And all the Lings are on the other side of the map. They're going to click in to try and do some counter damage. Let's see who wins this trade. A lot of multitasking going to come in. 2 Hellions just left the base. Those Lings will go in, already getting a couple drones. But those Lings are going to fight the SCVs. SCVs are going to turn and fight it. At least a few of them go down. Oh, pull those drones away, Wayne. Wayne loses 3 workers. 3 SCVs go down. 2 more Hellions are going to drive in. That's a bad move. That's a bad move. Uh-oh, CLEM going too deep here. Trying to dive on Wayne. Throws away 2 more Hellions, and that's a really good start from Wayne. Wayne does crush that. He's still up 8 workers. It's not like he's completely overbuilt Zerglings. There is going to be a very quick Banshee coming in behind this, though. Realizing that this is a 2-gas opening is quite important, and I don't know if Wayne will realize that, because actually, Wayne should. Those first 2 Hellions were so early, this can't be a 3cc. So Wayne does go a nice quick lair, but he also needs to build Spore Crawlers at 4 minutes 30. If you go later than 4:30, then you're not going to have them in time for this Banshee. Because 3rd Command Center quick is so common, though, Wayne might be a little late. He builds a Spore Crawler in each base at about 4:37. I think it's just in time. And, oh, Clem's stopping in vision of that Overlord. So Wayne knows about it. He's ready for it. He's going to force it to activate that cloak very early. 3rd Command Center goes down in the wall off. Wayne has good knowledge of what's going on in this game. He hasn't droned in a while, though. He's got 20 Zerglings. Oh, wait. So Wayne is actually expecting Clem to go overly aggressive because of the opening. So he's massing he's massed a lot more Zerglings, so he can both backstab this. Oh my god, is he gonna get it? He's gonna get it! He kills the command center! No cancel! No cancel, Clem! Oh my god, that command center was way too exposed. The Lings got it, the aliens came all the way home. He gets a big cancel on it. Now, if he didn't get that, Wayne would have been in a bit of trouble because he's not droning as hard as he could. But he goes for the commitment on the Mass Zerg and gets a big kill. Not even a cancel. You can get a 300 mineral refund on that if you cancel that. But he misses out on it, so an extra 300 minerals of damage on top of the 100 that was guaranteed. And that is big. Still got 12 Zerglings to stop a Hellion run by. Can't really run into that. Very dangerous. And good creep spread as well. There's not like a lot of tumors out because he's playing only 7 queens and he's only got to that queen count pretty late. But Baneling speed's on the way. 4th base, 7 more drones. Wayne is playing a 5 gas style. He's going to go double Evo chamber here at about 6 minutes. I do wonder... Oh, that Evo chamber placement's a bit weird. That kind of makes it harder for him to move around, but it is what it is. Clem, nice move, gets a drone. 3rd command center does finish up in about 30 seconds. Factory is building tanks. 1-1 upgrade starting for Terran, but they're pretty late. When this double gas before 3rd command center opening, the quick Banshee opening, quick Hellion dives for Clem. Has it paid off? He's still trying to multi-prong with those Hellions, looking for creep tumors, not able to find it. These queens with the Overseer will be able to shut down those Banshees. Careful. Careful, Clem. Clem's not watching. Nice move forward by Wayne. Doesn't reveal the queen attacks to give him the warning until after he's right underneath. Kills one of the Banshees. The other one goes back in. What are we doing? Clem, careful. I don't know if that was an F2. I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but that Banshee almost goes down. So the Banshees have been shut down. 74 drones for Wayne versus 50. Clem played highly aggressive. It has not paid off. The backstabs have been brilliant. And Clem unable to take the aggressive momentum. This is interesting because I thought going into a series versus Wayne, Clem would play very defensive, play very careful, knowing that Wayne's an aggressive player. But looks like Clem was like, maybe Wayne's very greedy sometimes as well. So maybe he is like, oh no, I need to make sure he doesn't get away with a very greedy first game. It's backfired though, because Wayne did not play greedy. Wayne played a mixture of both safe and technical with his backstabs. And he's gotten a massive advantage for himself. And I don't know if Clem can possibly survive a 1-1 Ling Bane timing. If Wayne does nothing but build Ling Bane for the next minute or two, when 1-1 finishes 60 seconds from now, it's going to be devastating. Oh, he gets to surround the Hellions and the Marines. Nice cleanup there for Wayne. Second armory, second factory armory, 4th and 5th barracks are all coming down very late for Clem just due to the nature of this early game. Hydras are on the way with move speed. Hydraling Bane Bust, man, go for it. He stopped on 75 workers. The fact that he's not really droning up that extra minerals or the 5th base tells me that I think he's going that way, but actually Infestation Pit and 3 more drone stops, so maybe Wayne is going to play the long game. 75 drones is plenty. It's not like the worst. It's just if you are looking to play the super long game, you often want to go up into the 80s, especially with as much map control as Wayne has. Clem is doing really well to keep him back right now, though. And Wayne a bit out of position with that Ling Bane squad. Careful, he's going to lose a queen there. Great snipe by Clem, pulls to the left. And he's doing well with these drops. He's getting a 4th command center. Clem's just going to try and multitask his way back into this with these drops. But look at this, Wayne's moving forward. You can tell that Wayne's trying to get map control. He's trying to set units up all over. He's looking to swarm right now. And if he gets an opportunity, he may go deeper. Groove Spines is on the way. Hive has started. That 2-2 upgrade does need to start for him. 2-2 starts for Clem right now. Banelings, if they get right in there, they can do the boom boom. Clem does lose a pack of Marines to those Banelings. The creep spread is not looking good. That's the one thing I'd be critical of for Wayne. He's got so much army, and yet he's not really keeping map control with that creep spread. His 2-2 starts up here. Massling going for a bit of a surround here. Watch out for that Widow Mine. Good spready at the last second. He doesn't have any Overseers with this army, though. He's got 1 at home. Quickly morphs 2 more Overseers to join up with that. Does not have Overlord speed, though, so those will lag behind. Wayne should not be letting Clem max out here. You do not want to let Clem catch up by maxing out his army. On the other hand, it's Clem, so the argument could be made that Clem's always going to attack you, right? That's just what Clem does. So you could just wait, max out, make a billion Banelings, and then just wait for Clem's army to move out, try to hide the mass of your army, and let him present his army to you. Ooh, Widowmines get some decent hits. He needs Overlord speed. Still no OV speed for Wayne is a big problem, man. His double drops are just pulling him around. Those Widowmines being annoying. Finally cleans up those. That 4th command center is sticking out like a sore thumb. Clem needs to run away with that. He gets jumped on. Oh, the tanks weren't sieged. Okay, a lot of those siege tanks are going to get taken out by the Lings. The Banelings going after those Marines. More units running in on the right side. It's kind of a bit of a scattered engagement on that right area. The Banshee barely survives. That's that Banshee from the early game. That Widow Mine on the top does not get a big bit of damage. And Wayne is continuing the aggression in the onslaught. Remember, Wayne was far ahead for a long time. Banelings find the mineral line. Clem quickly evacuates the Marines, holding the line like bloody champions. One siege tank up in that third base, another one in the natural. The Marine line has crumbled. The tank goes down in the third. A new one pops out of the factory. It goes down. And Wayne getting massive, massive damage. That was huge. A very good 1-1 timing there. And he did it kind of reactively. He saw the command center, Clem trying to move his siege tanks forward to defend that fourth base. And Wayne said, no, no, no. He does a poo on the factory as well. That's right, guys. Zerg poo has tentacles in it. It, like everything else Zerg, even their feces has tentacles. Freezes up the factory production for a while. And that fourth command center got taken out, guys. That is huge. He's going to try to start rebuilding it now, but Clem is so far behind. Vipers are now on the way. Adrenal glands. And the 2-2 upgrades are going to be tied up. Wayne is miles ahead off this early game. Really good handling. I really feel that first 2 Hellion run by could have done way more damage if Wayne panicked. But Wayne handled it very well. On the other hand, we could argue that if Clem reacted quicker, he could have pulled his 2 Hellions that had just popped out home earlier to defend those Zerglings rather than just fighting it with the SCVs as well. He didn't lose the 3 SCVs, would have been a bit nicer on him, but he was very focused on microing multiple areas at once, so he had to make a hard decision. Now in the mid-game, 3-3 upgrades on the way, 81 drones. Wayne has a gigantic army advantage of over 20 army supply. The Marines are trying to hold him back. Not that many Banelings in the mix, but you're going to use Vipers to take out the siege tanks, and then what else can you do? Blinding Cloud is available, or double abduct on these Vipers. Depending on what you want to use, you can abduct all 4 siege tanks into your Ling Hydra. You just want to make sure your Banelings don't blow up on them individually as they get... Oh my god, he's unsieged again! Oh, perfect timing for Wayne to be attacking right now. Blinding Clouding a lot of the Marines there. These 2 tanks on the bottom doing what they can, but there's so much Ling Bane! So much of it coming in. Man, those siege tanks do survive on the bottom. Somehow the mineral line's okay, but oh, there's more Banelings. Where that came from? And he's just clicking on the buildings at this point. The Banelings and the Hydras. Quick evacuation. Clem holding on like a champ. Gets a bunch of Hydras on the retreat as well. Clem was meant to die there, but I think this tells us for Wayne, you want units coming from this angle. You don't want to just be attacking up one angle. If he attacked from here as well, he would have been wrapping around these 2 siege tanks on the south and cleaning up that whole army and probably winning the game. So a bit of a mistake there to attack only one position. Ghost Academy's on the way, 3-3 upgrades. We've got another tech lab building here. Trying to get this production back up is Clem. He's got decent pre-spreading, but I'd like to see even more personally. He's going to rebuild a sensor tower. Nice far forward. Wayne is very clumped. I'd like to see that multi-prong. Otherwise, those tanks in the north are a bit hard to get to. Viper's coming in. No Blinding Cloud targets. Those tanks are very far back. He Blinding Clouds the Marines. They just pull back right on through it, but it does at least limit a bit of their damage. The Ling Bane, is it really getting the fight it needs? The Marines avoid most of those Banelings. Dude, Clem is taking insanely good battles here. And Wayne is looking a little sloppy. Wayne's throwing the kitchen sink at him. It might be good enough because he's killing SCVs on each wave, but it feels like he should have been able to break him already. That being said, nice lurker transition timing. I mean, it doesn't matter. He's not giving Clem time. It's kind of like when you watch Sue kill an opponent, where you're like, is this really the best fight? And you're like, it doesn't matter. He's killing him. It doesn't have to look pretty. If it gets the Terran dead, it gets the Terran dead. And that's all Wayne cares about right now. 10 range lurkers are going to siege up on this base. And yeah, you're moving some tanks forward, but I don't think they saved this planetary. That planetary is probably going to have to lift. Where are those Vipers? They're coming back full of energy. Great resource management to not bring those Vipers in until they were ready. And the Marines trying to fight. The Lings are going in, but there's lurkers on both sides. Fourth base getting denied. The SCV's repairing going down. And the Ling lurker on the top as well. He might want to back away from this fight as those siege tanks are in range of him. The lurkers are not in range of the tanks. A little wasteful right now for Wayne. He's going to... Oh, Blinding Cloud comes in. He's just got so many units. It does not matter. And Wayne with a very nice game 1 victory, shutting down Clem's aggressive build order. All right, highly aggressive build order didn't work out in game 1, but let's see if Clem can rally. And I think I know how he's going to do it. I would guess third command center. That is this man's favorite way to play. And I think Wayne here is playing pretty standard. Could say a little more aggressive with the Ling backstabs, but other than that, I don't know. Will Wayne Nidus him? Will Wayne go something crazy? Will he swarm him with a roach timing? I have no idea, but I do think we're going to be seeing a harder map to kill the Terran on Ancient Cistern. It's a very long rush distance. It's a big map. It's really good for multi-prong. Spawning pool does go down right on time. Clean hatch gas pool opening. And interesting really for me is, what is Wayne's mindset? He looked pretty solid in that last game, but he did struggle a little bit to finish the game off, right? That's one of the hard things that you can run into, is if you start to think of Clem as this sort of unkillable monster. I mean, I've asked many times about aggression and why don't people cheese Clem more if he goes 3 command center almost every game? And people have always said this guy just does not die to cheese because his micro is too good. The same reason why we don't see Zergs try to cheese Maru that much is because he just defends pretty much everything off of the back of his micro. You know, his ability to just scramble things together. I mean, think about Bjorn as well. Bjorn doesn't scout that much. He just survives most things with instincts and instincts alone. Apologies if I do get a little bit distracted during this game, guys, as we've just brought the little kitten that we're fostering right now into the room because it was meowing at the door and being like, where are you? Have you abandoned me? And I was like, okay, fine. So I've let it in, and it is now wandering around my computer and hopefully not unplugging anything in the middle of a cast. Fingers crossed. I can like hear it rummaging amongst my cables, and I'm like, oh god, we're really doing a dangerous decision right now. The Reaper there does take out a Zergling. Third base gets down. I like the straight line third base for Wayne. And let's see how we go. Queens are going to start to move forward. Got that factory coming up. It is the second gas again, so I think Wayne has definitely made Clem paranoid with aggression to the point where Clem feels like he needs to do this just to stay safe. He's like worried about getting in trouble if there's a big Roach attack or a big Ling Flood or a Nidus Worm, and getting out the second gas, the quick Banshees, makes you feel a lot safer in these scenarios. People in chat saying for no reason at all, I find myself, I don't even know Wayne that well, but I'm rooting for him. I mean, I'm rooting for Wayne, guys. He's a big underdog. I always go for the underdog. I mean, I love Clem as well, and I'd like to see him, you know, face some adversity and then overcome it here as well in the face of a very aggressive and very unique Zerg player, one who has his own identity like Wayne, who plays very different to the norm. But I think it really comes down to can Clem adapt to the opponent? Because this opening, it's going to make the next steps a bit harder for him, right? So I think what we want to see is if he can try to exert some pressure without overcommitting, that's going to be the big goal, is try to put on some pressure, try not to overcommit too hard, and just see what you can get done here. Cloak Banshee's on the way. Reaper Hellion, he's going to dive. I said don't overcommit. Uh-oh. Only 3 Lings out. Let's see if he can get some damage. 1 Hellion's already fallen. And good drone pull. He's going to lose 1 drone only. 1 drone only. That's bloody clean defense, and it ain't working for Clem. This opening and these Hellion dives are not working. He clearly thinks that game 1 he just didn't execute it correctly. At least this time he doesn't throw away the next 2 Hellions. He gets 1 more drone, does pull them back. But the beginning of this is rough. Oh no! Lings get a surround! Okay, never mind. Wayne's all over it again. Clem having a disastrous start 2 games in a row. This is not looking good at all, guys. Still a big map, so we could definitely bring it back. He builds his 3rd command center in the wall, but on this map, much less surface area, so you're not going to take that down with a big attack of Lings. Quick lair and some Spore Crawlers coming down on time, so very good reactions by Wayne. You can tell Wayne's adapting to how his opponent's playing the game. He's adjusted those Spore timings. You'd usually build those 15, 20 seconds later if it was a 3 command center build, but he gets them just on time. Cloak's almost finished, Spore Crawler just finishes. Leaving this defense to the last second allows you to squeeze out more drones, spend all of that lava constantly, keep the production rolling, and that is fantastic. Double Engineering Bay is on the way behind the Natural Expand. Going to be dropping mules there as well. Going to need 2 more gases to keep up production. Stim, shields, 1-1, all of that stuff is going to be doing what it can. 4th hatchery on the way. Okay, 4th base is over there. Do we go for a quick macro hatch? I wonder how Wayne plays in that regard. I know a Laser, Lambo, Rainer, Cyril, not that big on getting macro hatcheries. They prefer to just hit perfect injects. Is Wayne also a man of trying to hit perfect injects, or does he play dark style and just embrace the fact that he's imperfect and build 2 macro hatcheries to prepare for those mistakes? Overseer is coming over. It's a little slow. He keeps trying to scare the Banshees back. Clem just doesn't back off to the last second. Great play by him to get a bit of extra damage. He just wasted a lot of the Queen's transfuse energy. Now, that's not the biggest thing, but think about when the first Marine tank push comes across the map, A lot of the time, the Queens buy a bit of time just by spamming out transfuses, doing everything they can to buy time and hang on. Banshee's moving down towards the south. They see that 4th base is almost finished. You don't want this thing droning up freely. Hellions dancing around. All the Lings are on the other side of the map. The command center lifts up at the worst time. But wait, there's plenty of Marines. I think it's enough Marines that it might be okay, especially if the SCVs fight. A bit slow to pull the SCVs to fight, but that's okay. He doesn't lose too many Marines. A good trade for him overall. And we've got those Hellions dancing around. Banshee's trying to pull back. Zerglings on the top side, seeing what they can do. Medevac's coming out. 3rd command center's landed. And if we're going to try to... Sorry, guys, just wild kitten sprinting from one corner of the room to the other in my peripheral vision for God knows why. Maybe it saw a fly or something. Hellions are there, but yeah. Who's ahead? Who's behind after all this? I still feel Wayne, because he's killed so many Hellions in the early game, he's in a great spot. That time, Clem does manage to slip away. Good volleys on those Hellions. And if he can get some damage done with the Marine tank, he can start to turn this series around. The Queens, 7 of them out. Remember, they lost a lot of transfuse energy earlier. Remember what I talked about? Where are the transfuses? Where are the 4-5 Queens with a ton of transfuses? They do not exist. There's only 1 or 2 transfuses in here, which means you can't use those to tank a lot of this damage. Wayne has to pull back. He needs the Baneling speed. Baneling speed is not started. Whoa, he forgot to make Baneling speed. He's made a Hydra upgrade. He's got mass slow Baneling. He still has not made a Baneling speed. Oh, that is a big mistake for him right now. Still not starting it. Wayne, what is going on, mate? You cannot be going mass slow Baneling. He must have thought he started it a second time. I think he realized, oh, I forgot it, went there, tried to click it, pressed the wrong button, or did it when he didn't quite have enough money, and now he's buying time, hoping to wait for Baneling speed to kick. And I guarantee you guys, you might think that's silly, but this is what's happened to a lot of players in high-pressure situations. He's fat-fingered it. Lings going after the SCVs, slow Banelings. Oh, man, what an awkward fight. The Queens and the Lings will eventually clear this up. He actually connects with 2 or 3 of the Marines, gets a good Ling run by off to kill some SCVs, but these Marines are still here looking large and in charge. Baneling speed is finally starting up, and only after so much has gone wrong in this early game. Oh, man. It feels like Wayne had such a good start, but forgetting Baneling speed is obviously such a big problem. And I guarantee you he didn't realize, guys, because otherwise, why would you make 17 Banelings? It just doesn't make any sense. He would have been better off defending with pure Hydra Zergling, maybe 3 or 4 Banelings. And Clem gets back in this game. Solid follow-up play for him, but let's be real. His opening did not pay off at all. Dude, if Wayne could still hold, that would be crazy. Hydra Link comes forward with the muscular augments. Bit too much firepower for Terran. It is equal upgrades, 1-1 versus 1-1. Another 11 SCVs go down. Clem's struggling to defend those backstabs, but he's just got too much power in the front. The Marines and the tanks are kicking butt right now. They are smashing face, and I don't think Wayne can recover from here. He's lost every queen. He has to tap out. Clem honestly gets a little bit of a freebie in that one. GG, well played. All right, guys, Clem gets a game back, but I definitely want to see him mix in some 3 command center openings. Down in the bottom right side, we've got Wayne. Wayne had a very good start in that last game, but it's such a frustrating way to lose. And every Zerg's done this. Serral has lost games to missing Bane speed. Solar, Raynor probably has as well. Like, everyone's had this moment where you've had a really good game, you think everything's great, you're kind of like focusing on all the little details. You're like, oh, let's make sure my creep spread's really perfect because I'm ahead, and just wait time for Baneling speed. It's such a terrible way to lose. Of course, the pain of that can be very frustrating, can throw you off, but I think Wayne's been competing for long enough that he should be made of stone and stuff. I think he'll be able to just stabilize and stay calm and figure it out. I think he should be rock solid no matter what. Unshakable. Finds 100 gas, doesn't start link speed just yet, pulls all the drones down to his natural. Here comes Clem's Reaper, looking for that Reaper tax. Clem is a beast at just picking off Zerglings and drones. Let's see what he gets. Good micro by Wayne, but I think he's going to lose one for sure. Good focus fire. Oh, a second one. Uh-oh. Ooh, ow, 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 ow. Ooh, almost gets a drone as well, but hey, even the Spore Trick gives you value. He actually could have turned around to kill that drone. Wayne canceling that maybe a fraction of a second too early, if you ask me. Almost gets the Creep Tumor as well, the famous Clem Reaper. But the ramp does help out Wayne there. Second gas again. Interesting, guys. The second gas again. I don't like the opening. I think this is not optimal for Clem to be doing the same thing every game. I think even when you're worried about your opponent, do you guys just see a flutter on the screen, by the way? Let me know if you saw that. I don't know what that was. Kitten, are you chewing the cables? Hopefully not. I don't know. I just saw a bit of a weird shimmer. All Hopefully that doesn't continue. Might be my capture card playing up. Reaper is going to be dancing around. Hellions doing what they can. Depot does go down in the natural. And Wayne does lose a creep tumor there. That Reaper getting some value. Gets in, gets out. Behind this, back on gas relatively early is Wayne. Lots of units are building. Banshee, Cloak immediately. This opening has been consistently putting Clem behind, and yet he's not adjusting. I think definitely could use maybe a bit of an adjustment. And the thing is, he keeps doing the same thing. Let's see if he changes the execution. I mean, so far he hasn't dived in with the first 2 Hellions, so it looks like he's changing the way he's using it. Maybe, does he go for the 4 Hellion dive though? There's no Overlord on that right side. This is a big mistake for Wayne. He has no vision here. Uh-oh. But Clem doesn't group up before going in. Oh, if he gets the creep tumor, it's okay. He's going to get a drone. Only one. Sees the Zerglings there. Doesn't want to go in too deep on creep. Good play by Clem so far. He's also going to pull that factory off after just building 6 Hellions, and then immediately gets the 3rd command center down, ensures no Zerglings can get into his base. Banshee going across the map. Lair does start up nice and early. Expect Spore Crawlers to follow. I mean, Wayne's getting in his comfort zone. There is nothing scarier than a Zerg in his comfort zone. Wayne has outplayed Clem quite hard 2 games in a row in the opening stage. He's got a slightly different situation here, but not that different. I feel like the spores are perfectly timed once again. The lair is really well timed to get the Overseer out. This is really well done. The Hellions are preserving themselves much better, but there's only 10 Zerglings on the map. So Wayne, I think realizing that he's shut down Clem's Hellions 2 games in a row, realizes, well, Clem would be crazy to keep diving Hellions. So I can actually skimp on the Zergling production, get a few more drones out earlier, and this is why we see Clem actually even further behind, potentially, than the previous games, even though he hasn't thrown the Hellions away. Because Wayne is so much more confident now in this scenario. And like I said, dude, Zerg comfort zone is something you always want to avoid, as the Terran or Protoss. You never want to let a Zerg feel comfortable. Spire goes down. Well, that tells us a lot about his comfort level. Wayne is feeling very comfortable. I know he is very good with Mutalisks. That's one of the styles that he specializes in. But I've got to question, is Dragon Scales the right map for it? I mean, it's got some decent space on it. The pushes through the middle are very hard to get around. I think he's had a good enough start to get away with the Mutalisks. They're very good at shutting down Banshee play in general as well. You can shut those down completely, really harass, force a lot of defensive units on the defense. Hellions go after that hatchery as well. Reaper Grenade does go down there. Oh, Banshee's coming in on behind this base. Uh-oh. 2 drones going down. Nothing too big just yet, though. Double Evo's on the way. Bane Speed's on the way. Spire's on the way. When is Clem going to do a ground push? Going for Alien Banshee in this number, it does delay any sort of push like that by quite a bit. Siege tanks and Marines coming on out. Maybe with the first 2 medevacs he moves out. 1-1 and shields will time out with that pretty nicely. And Siege tank styles generally do lead towards very good push timings. Banshees get out of there, none of them going down. This 4th base is probably the natural push area with tanks behind these rocks, or you could maybe get tanks down there and even break those rocks to make that choke point even worse for the Zerg. We'll see which way Clem decides to go. He is moving out right now, but he's leaving his tanks at home. So Clem is playing defensive. He's just going to use Marines to pressure, but he's not going to commit really hard to a push. Nice Sling Roadbike comes in, gets 2 of those Marines, 2 or 3 of them. Only loses a few Zerglings, pulls back to the siege tank shot on the high ground. Marines come in, Queen's in the open. Uh-oh. Wayne making a bit of a doo-doo there. His Queen's a little far forward. He's losing 2 of them. And, oh my god, his Banelings aren't ready. Baneling speed is finished, but he's only got 6 Banelings. They're morphed on the right side. Okay, here we go, the Banelings. Oh, good hot pick up there by Clem, but the Mutas are out. He's going to try to pick up into the main base. The Mutas are just going to take out these Marines as they unload, I think. But he's actually focusing the Mutas down. 2 Mutalisks have fallen, make it 3. Great play by Clem to make the most of a situation where he was completely ambushed by those Mutas. He was not expecting those to come. He gets 3 Mutalisks. Yes, he loses quite a few units, but he's still ahead of the units. Lost up significantly. Cleared a lot of the Queens. There's only 4 of them left. And Wayne's surprise Mutalisk opening doesn't really pay off. Turrets are up now. 2nd factory's on the way, so we can start building Thors out of this one. Now the armory's done, and then Widow Mines out of this factory. For now, he's still just building Marine tank. Clem, the last few times I saw him play against Mutalisks, I was like, tanks are bad versus Mutalisks. You really got to watch out. I mean, obviously they still help with a push, but they're not very effective. And then he just killed the last 3 or 4 players that went Mutas versus him, and they were top-level Zergs with a Marine tank push. He just kept it, like, he just said, yeah, I don't think you have, your upgrades are behind. I'm just going to fight you when I'm 1-1 and you're 0-0. But in this game, the 1-1's very well timed for a Mutalisk build. 1-1 about to kick in here for Vanya, aka Wayne. 80 drones. He's got a big economy. Defending mostly with, like, Banelings and Mutas. Only 40 Zerglings out right now. But if you get those Banelings on the Marines, the Mutas clean everything else up. So, oh, careful! Wayne runs in, accidentally loses a Mutalisk. Big Ling run by on the left. Getting ready to go in. The Banshees are stationed there. They will be able to deal with those Zerglings eventually. Army is nearby as well. 5th base on the right side. 2-2 does start up. Only about 25 seconds behind for the Zerg compared to the Terran. Interesting. And it looks like with a Hive now starting up, Wayne is really progressing the tech. Not sitting on Lingbane forever in this game. I would like to see Burrow. You know what's really cool about Wayne's style, guys? Wayne only committed to a bunch of Mutalisks. Has lost 4 of them, so 13 Mutalisks in total. Building a few more now, but basically this was, I'll get some Mutas to force a big reaction out of you, turrets, Thors, Widow Mines, but I'm actually just going to use that to spread creep, to stop drops, and then I am going to get all over this. Oh, the Mutas go for the Medivacs! He's going to get a full Medivac there. Nice pick off on one of those full Medivacs. Does pull back. Really good catch there for Wayne. And I wonder if it's just going to be Ultralisks. I feel like Ultralisks are amazing. Infestors would be good, but since it's almost pure Marine right now, just getting Ultras with Kindness Plating, it's going to do very well versus Clem's army. Clem's got a 4th command center going up as a planetary. He doesn't have any extra orbitals just yet. Still building Mutalisks. That's interesting. I feel like it's so late now that this might be an overcommitment. 6 Mutalisks have gone down in this game. Ooh, okay, the Banshee's going to get focused right there. And they don't cloak in time. The Overseer's there anyway, so it looks like they should fall. But the Mutas actually go after a turret. The Ling Bane attack kind of crazy here. He's got so many Banelings. Oh my god, this is what Roddy was talking about when he said so many Lair Tech units, more than you've ever seen. Wayne, the mad lad, just shoves it in there, all from one angle. I really thought, I always feel with these sort of attacks, attacking from 2 sides is better than one. But, you know, I think Wayne kind of has the art of the Sioux-style Zerg, where you just shove in from one angle and you have so many numbers, there is nothing they can do there. Here we go, Planetary is there. Adrenal Glands is on the way. Mutiling Bane is coming in. Marine Marauder Medevac moving south. We've got Lings trying to move up that left side. The Widow Mines seeing what they can do. Good defense. Tank, Banshee, and those 2 Widow Mines holding him back. Was Wayne's last attack worth it? That's the question I have. He didn't really delay the 4th very long at all. He's got a good economy of 82 workers, 6 more on the way as well, so he's going to have an overwhelming amount of Ultraling Bane. It kind of feels like Clem's a bit too far behind infrastructure-wise to compete against the Ultras. Like, he can't afford a Ghost transition right now. There's still only 5 barracks. Oh my god. Guys, I just realized, if Ultras hit the field, Clem's dead. He's only got 5 barracks. He doesn't have any Tech Labs. He's got a single Tech Lab barracks building Marauders. He needs to do damage now. He's got an anti-mutiling Bane army. But even that, it's not ideal. He would want a few more Marauders in the mix. He tries to come forward. The Ling Bane's going to roll in towards him. Thor out front there. Widowmine does fire on just a few Zerglings and a Baneling. That front Thor goes down. The Widowmine's getting some okay shots, but nothing too crazy. That Widowmine got a better one. But the Thors are getting taken out. Clem does finally pick up a Thor and saves it. The Widowmine's not landing the big hits that he needs, though. Extra command center's on the way right now for Clem. He needs some time for that to kick in and really pay off. Building armor starts up for Clem. Kind of a wild upgrade to get that so early. That's surely meant to be +3 armor, guys. Definitely is. Marines trying to pull back. The Ling Bane running in. Oh, those Widow Mines. 26 kills on one of those, halting the advance of the Zerg. Muta's going to go for that snipe on the siege tank. They ain't going to find it. The Thor, the Mines, the Bio does push it back. Clem is hanging on like a champ right now. He's doing very well to keep himself in this. But with 3-3 and Kindness Plating on the way, it's about 2 minutes until a massive Ultralisk swarms on top of the Terran. This is going to be huge. This is going to be absolutely huge. I don't know if Clem can do this. He's got his 3 barracks coming in now. He will add Tech Labs. He'll no doubt add a Ghost Academy. Can he get there in time, though? I very much doubt it. He's going to need a good defensive position to deal with these Ultralisks. Maybe a lot of Widow Mines or some Liberators could help out, but for now, even the Ling Bane is causing Clem troubles. Wayne unafraid of just attacking in. This man has a little bit of Ragnarok in his blood. The man does not afraid of anything. Blows a bunch of Banelings up on those Thors. Definitely some prime targets for mass repair. Clem pulls these SCVs out. You can see they're queued up to repair both Thors and go back to mining. A couple of Overseers go down. Interesting. It seems like Wayne, for getting Overlord speed, as I said earlier in the series, is actually not a bug. It's a feature. I think he doesn't like his Overseers running ahead of his army and dying. The problem is it's hard to clean up Widow Mines sometimes and stuff. But oh my god, those Widow Mines! Yes, they take out an Ultra, but they do a bunch of friendly fire as well. And oh my lord, the Ultras are here. Clem is massively outnumbered. Those Thors have been mass repaired back up. But that's a lot of Ultraling Bane coming in. The tank in the mineral line is going to try to stop this, but look at those Banelings on the left side. Clem tries to get out with those SCVs. They're getting blown up. The Ultras on the right do actually get cleaned up, but there's still 3 in the mineral line. Some of these SCVs are somehow looking like they might escape. I don't know how. Command Center on the right side getting attacked by those Mutalisks. Building arm is actually coming in handy in that regard. The Mute is doing very little damage to that. Widow Mines are going off, but they're all getting cleaned up as well. The Ultras, we said this would be a problem, and it really was. Clem was a bit too far behind the curve, and Wayne is swarming over the top. The units lost have really not that bad for him. Some of these fights start bad for Wayne. They look kind of nasty, but the moment he cracks through the front line and gets on top, the units crumble to the Ultraling Bane. And there's these moments of inefficiency to break the front line. He makes a sacrifice. When he cracks through, the Marine Marauder just start to drop like flies. Really nice play by Wayne. 4 Marauders being built at a time. Clem unable to stabilize here. That Widow Mine goes down before it can fire. More Bio Mine trying to come in the natural there. Clem trying desperately to hold. He's got to pick back to his high ground. That means his bases are ransacked, and Wayne is going up 2-1 versus Clem. GG, well played. Even had 2 Infestors that came out at the end of that game, apparently. Nice. All right. Clem is almost going to be eliminated. Remember, it's a single elimination bracket now. This is the round of 8. He has to win this game. Round of 8, maybe round of 16. I might be getting my bracket round confused. That's all right. It'll be in the title. Clem in the bottom right side, going for a Barracks Gas. Pretty standard opening. Hatch first for Vanya, a.k.a. Wayne, once again. Looks like he's going to go for that 18 gas, 17 pool. You can see there, nicely stacks up that worker to join up here. So he's got 2 perfectly mining each patch. And the gas goes down and the spawning pool. I kind of like the spawning pool here to block Reapers jumping in and circling your mineral line. But I think Wayne is just trying to make sure there's no choke points for later drops to hide behind. Like, if you put a spawning pool there, later on a double drop gets back here, you've only got these little openings to kind of get at it. It's a bit awkward because they can put a Marauder or a Marine in the choke point, have a little pocket. And creating a little choke point, a little pocket when you're the melee race, the Zerg race, can definitely be problematic. It is the round of 16. Thank you for clarifying there, guys. I'm so used to upper bracket and lower bracket that I get confused about which phase we're at. I do think single elim, though, is easy to follow for the fans. It's fantastic. I actually think the Swiss format leading into this was great as well. It's kind of a shame the viewership was a little lower for this season of ESL Masters Regionals, because I actually think the games were more competitive and important than they've ever been in the past. But I think it was partially people were just like, what is Swiss format? We don't understand what's happening. And obviously a few production changes in the show as well, maybe having some small impact. Looks like we're going to see those 2 queens, 4 Zerglings on the way. 3rd hatchery will go down momentarily, but first of all, you got to defend the Reaper tax. Clem the Reaper man. I'm telling you, this guy's oof. He's a big fan of getting that tax. I sometimes feel like Clem's Reaper isn't a normal Reaper, but it's the bloody Grim Reaper out of Discworld. Like, I feel like he's just hovering over your shoulder sometimes, and it's not a negotiation. It's inevitable. He's gonna take some souls. Clem's Reaper, the way he does this hold position micro as well, this Reaper. But he took a bit too much damage earlier, so that's actually really good for Wayne. He gets the creep tumor down immediately. Really nice start to his creep spread. 3cc build, guys. Clem's changed it up. Ooh, Clem's changing it up. He's going for a 3 command center opening, and I think good. And as I say it, we see why he hasn't been playing 3 command center all series long. It's because Wayne is a wild man. Wayne is going for a Roach Warren very early, and he's canceled Link Speed, or maybe never started it. He's gonna go for like a 10 Roach attack, I think. A bunch of Roaches and Ravages. I would say about 10 Roaches. If he can hide this from the Reaper, that's everything. If he kills the Reaper, it's actually game over for Clem potentially. Because then again, actually, Hellions will be out soon. I mean, yeah, if you can hide the Roach move out, that's crazy. You know what would be really cool is if Wayne had mined out this backdoor, sneaks his Roaches down the right side of the map, and gets across without being seen. Now, obviously, he's not doing that, but that would have been awesome. That being said, Clem can always just scout the mineral line, and if there's no workers on that past like 4 minutes 10, that's very suspicious. Even here at 350, you're like, no drones just yet. You're like, oh, fair enough, I guess. But notice as well, there's only 2 queens out here. You got to start questioning, wait, why is there only 2 queens? Normally there's a 3rd queen out here by now. First roach comes out. Oh, I don't like that move. He kind of gives away what he's doing. But wait, Wayne's only building 6 roaches? Oh, so he's trying to force an over response almost more than anything. This is actually a really bad roach timing. This is a cave bob build, guys. There's a Banshee already out. This is going to do nothing. All it does is force a bunker. The Banshee, even though it's a slower Banshee, yeah, these roaches should just go home. Wayne may be hoping that he's running into a Liberator opening. As soon as he sees the Banshee, he immediately will turn around and go home. No? There we go, he does. Doesn't really pay off. On the other hand, he's droning pretty well behind it. He didn't cut that many workers to do this. He didn't take a second gas or anything like that. And he should get like maybe 4 roaches home to defend with. CLEM trying to stutter step through the slow zone. Microing through the mustard, as they call it. Wading through the hummus. It's a, you know, trying to traverse the jello. Extra gases do go down. Bunker gets sold. Double engineering bays. Build has been a little disrupted for CLEM. He was always planning to go Banshees, and that is a very safe build, and that does shut down that roach pressure. 54 drones for Wayne. Wayne's going to be committing to mass roach, I believe. He goes Carapace only. Single Evo. Oh, okay. Carapace single Evo tells us it might be more of a Ravagerling build. There are some nasty Ravagerling builds you can do where you just go like mass Ravager Zergling with Carapace. You get like 12 Ravagers and like 80 Zerglings, and it just jumps on top of the enemy so fast. Like siege tanks are terrible versus it. They do nothing. The Bio really need to get back into like a corner, but if they get surrounded, Corrosive Bile ruins them. So we're going to see, is Wayne planning that Ravager Ling? He hasn't started Ling speed. Looks like it's just going to be mass roach with Carapace. So just a very committed roach timing. And he's only on 4 gas, which means, wait, 3 gas? Oh, he's trying to get the purple gas up. Interesting. Oh, only 7 roaches on this map, but luckily some pop out at the perfect time. That will allow him to limit the damage. 2 drones do fall initially. Make it 4. Oh, make it rain, dead drones. Oh, anyone call for some barbecue? 10 drones going down. Very successful run by, and even more successful because he sees the lack of gas in the main. At the same time, though, he does see a 4th base on the gas, but it's kind of a trick, right? That's not a real base. He's going to take the gas on it. He'll put workers on it. But other than that, it's a roach all-in. He's trying to convince CLEM, oh, look at me. I'm taking a quick 4th. You need to do something about it. If CLEM gets aggressive into that, he throws the game away because Wayne's massing roaches. But now Wayne is like, oh, I guess I need to rebuild some drones, but he's doing it so late. And he's taking way too much damage right now to these Banshees and Hellions. So this has done a lot of damage at a crucial moment in the game, and it's scouted the aggressive intent of the opponent by seeing the lack of workers in the main base, the lack of gas there. Now, arguably, it's still very low economy, and indeed it is. He's gone back to 56 drones. He's still massing roaches. The roaches are coming forward. CLEM's got a tank there. His Marines are out of position. No 1-1, no combat shields. Oh my god, a bunch of Marines get taken out. Oh no, CLEM! CLEM! He didn't realize that this was actually such a low economy. It didn't dawn on him. I don't think he registered that scouting info we were talking about. The Banshees are the saving grace here, as well as that tank firing some big shots from the left side. Gets a 4th command center, gets a bunch of workers and Marines. Great attack here for Wayne. The problem is Wayne is still all in on roaches, and he doesn't have any way of dealing with these Banshees. I say that he's got 2 queens walking across the map, guys. He's got 2 queens that are about to arrive to kill the Banshees. If CLEM can pull away from the queens and keep the Banshees alive, that'll be massive. CLEM, how's your reaction speed? Oh, he cloaks and pulls them back. Nice move. Very good move. As long as he keeps them out of range of the queens, they're still going to do a good job of zoning. Oh, he throws one away. CLEM doesn't want to lose this position. That tank moves very far forward. He has 1-1, but no shields. Ooh. Oh my god. I mean, good stim and fight for CLEM, but he doesn't want to get too far out there. Careful. Oh, he moves the tanks forward. He's got 2 tanks up there. Gets rid of one of the queens. He knows if he gets rid of that other queen, then the Banshee reigns supreme. If you get rid of the queen, the Banshee reigns supreme. And indeed it does. If he can, yeah, he's going to kill the queen. And the Marines should get out of there. The Banshee should split off, finish her off, which indeed he does. And that means Wayne needs to leave. Wayne's still only on 60 drones. Now starts +1 range, +2 carapace, but you can tell this is plan C or plan D. Oh my god! Oh my god, we haven't seen this in a pro game before. This is so sick. This is so sick. Oh my god, he traps him. There's so many roaches that he does break some of them out, but CLEM with some quick thinking collapses the rocks on the roaches, traps a ton of them, kills so many, And Wayne finds himself deep in Dicktown without any intention of coming here today. Oh my lord. That was a nasty move, man. That was a nasty move. I've been waiting to see that in a pro match. That's the first time I've seen a really big catch in a pro match. Well done by Clem. Beautiful play by him. 4th command center on the right side as well. Wow. I don't even know if I'd seen a clip of that. If I have, I somehow erased it from my memory. I got to enjoy that as if I didn't know it was coming, which is... I'm very happy I have a terrible memory right now, guys. I'm sure I would have seen a clip like that on Reddit and social media. That's a bloody cool move, man. That must have got posted everywhere when this game first happened. Wow. 4th command set of Planetary Fortresses there. We got the Roach Ravager getting ready. It's just another giant all-in, but there's still a Banshee, and most importantly, there's 6 siege tanks. The tanks are a little spread out, but that's kind of okay. It means you can't really catch them all out in one place. Still being built 2 at a time, and as the Terran maxes out, he's going to be in a good spot. You don't really have time to wait for 1-2 upgrades to kick in here as Wayne, so you got to go in with 0-1 upgraded Roach Ravager round 2. First siege tank goes down. The Biles don't land on any of the Marines, and Clem says, I have more stuff than you. Clem taking a completely unnecessary chase, but he senses blood in the water. He could just sit back and get further ahead. He says, screw that, pedal to the metal. My name's Clem! And I'm here to spit some acid in your face, man. That was really, really nice from Clem. Perfect defense. And as you're maxed out on mass bio, the damage density is just way too strong, guys. Clement just looking a bit too strong right now. Clement. We'd say Clement in Australia. But his tank's moving forward, man. It's not enough Roach Ravager. They don't have enough firepower. He's trying to split Roaches down the right side, but he has to end up fleeing because he just does not have the firepower to hold back this assault. Clem looking smooth. That harassment was really good this game. The 3cc into the Hellion Banshee, a very different dynamic to the previous games. The first Roach pressure not finding the mark. And I think at this point, Wayne has to realize Clem is going to open Banshee every game no matter what. Maybe there's some way to hard counter that a little bit better, but I feel like his early games, he was already doing okay. We'll see how he does. He's just too outnumbered here. Even though he biles down the front row of tanks and gets some SCVs on the run by, Clem, he's got a big rally of units. He's got a 4th base on the right side of this. And most importantly, he never lost that position in the middle. He still has a pack of bio and tanks there, way up in supply versus Roach Ravager, which is a death sentence. GG, well played. Clem's going to take us to game 5. All right. Let's go, guys. Clem in the bottom left side of the map. He's back in this series, tying it up 2-2, forcing a game 5 versus Wayne. And I think at this point, Clem goes 3 command center, right? 3 command center or die trying, man. It looked like such a better early game in that last one. I would argue the Roach pressure didn't really achieve anything, but if Clem was going for like a Liberator or something, it could have forced a lot more because it wasn't that big a commitment. It was like 6 Roaches. If you kill 5-6 SCVs with that, disrupt the Terran opening, it's so worth it. Unfortunately, Wayne has run into a wall of Banshees every single game, and I wonder what Wayne's changeup will be this time around. Because I do feel Wayne is kind of goes into each map with a plan, with a build order, with a very specific idea about how to play the game, right? And we'll see exactly which way he goes. Oh, thank you, Bullia, for the heads up in the chat. Apparently there might not have been a clean feed for WTL on Friday, which would be a disaster if so. No worries, I'll have to hit up Lambo for replays and Wardy, see if I can get it from them. Thank you for the heads up, mate. Okay, so Royal Blood, for those who don't know, Royal Blood is a very good Terran map if you ever get down this alley. This alleyway here is a terrible place for Zerg to fight. Likewise, we've seen often Zerg gives up this base because they don't want to fight in that alley, but then the Terran shuffles tanks here, and like, it's just, they push in towards the Zerg main. So I wonder which way Zerg expands. Does Wayne take this 3rd and this 4th and just avoid that left side of the map? Some Zergs do that. Other ones take this and just try to spread the creep far enough in front. And if the Terran starts pushing that way, they look to surround or backstab the push. And it can work, but they're just definitely like a traditional front-on engagement does not go well for the Zerg. Now, Clem taking no risks. He SCV scouts to confirm its hatchery first. He goes for an early Reaper. And he actually sneaks this Reaper around the left side of the map. I guess that's just the fastest way on this map, isn't it? Yeah. Thought he was being sneaky for a moment, maybe trying to pretend command center first. Here we go. Ling's gathering on top of the ramp. The Reaper's here for that Tex. Careful. Already gets one. Wow. God, he's so annoying, man. His micro is so good. Look at that. He doesn't have any respect for these Zerglings. Gets two of them. And I think it's a good idea to just save your hit points here, because then you can delay the creep tumor. Remember, Wayne likes to go for the early tumor. But if you take too much damage, you let him get that down. So I think as Clem, you should try to dart in from 40 hit points and see if you can get it, but I think it's too late now. Never mind. So well done by Wayne. Even though he loses 2 Zerglings, his creep gets out earlier than other players, and he only builds 4 Zerglings, so he's got an extra drone compared to the Koreans that always go 6 Zerglings. Third command center does start up in the main base, so it is that quick 3 command center into the factory landing there. The starport going down, second gas before starting 2 Hellions, and he's trying to stop that creep from spreading. He's like, hey, if I see that creep spread, I will jump on it. Wayne, does he feel safe enough to spread on the left? I think he should. We'll see. Gonna wait for that third queen to get out front. He says, no, I need 2 queens guarding this bad boy. Third hatchery's coming up. Link speed is on the way. Doesn't look like a roach opening this time around. Reaper unable to get in on top of that. And now the Reaper can't get past. So you can now spread as far as you want to the right. Reaper has to rotate all the way around. First Hellions coming out of the map. Second one as well. Starport's going to swap in the tech lab. That's going to be building a Banshee. Now, Wayne does enjoy a big 1-1 Ling Bane bust. But what I'm curious is, guys, remember game 1, he outplayed Clem's Hellion Banshee. He got way ahead, but that was a 2 command center Hellion Banshee. That was Hellions diving in and sacrificing their lives. That was him sniping the 3rd command center on the low ground. The question is, Clem, one of the best straight-up Zerg vs Terran players in the world, can you fight him in a straight-up ZVT battle? Because the answer for most players is no. It doesn't matter if you're Cyril, Raynor, anyone else. Like, most players lose to Clem in a straight-up battle. Even Dark, his idea of straight-up is basically non-stop Ling run-bys and giant gambly backstabs every time Clem moves out. I say gambly because versus a different player, they are a bit of a gamble. Versus Clem, they're almost 100% hit rate. They hit at such a high percentage. It is fan-bloody-tastic. Hellions are poking at the front. Lair is on the way. Very quick Lair once again. That's a super fast Lair. And a Baneley Nest goes down immediately. Is he going to go for a Bane speed timing? So, one of the rarest builds in Zerg vs Terran, I saw Raynor do this once. It's super rare, is a Bane speed timing. Off like maybe 55 drones, 3 gases. You just get Bane speed. You don't go double upgrades. And you just hit with Massling Bane. Terran's taken their 3rd. Terran's moved out with a medevac, 2 Marines. 2 medevacs worth of Marines get to here. And then you hit them with like just 30 Banelings, 50 Zerglings. And you basically just absolutely wreck their economy. Now that's a pretty rare build. I'm not saying that's what's happening. He's still going to move out and take a 4th base, which you'd still do with that build. You'd just be, he'd have to stop droning right here and do nothing but Ling Bane from this point. But no, double Evo chamber goes down once again in that awkward position that he likes up in the middle. I don't like that position. I just wish he left an opening on the right side for Zerglings to slide past, but maybe they can either way. For me, that's nitpicky. Don't worry. It's not about what I like. It's about what works. And Wayne looked fantastic in game 1 when he did this. 1-1 upgrades are on the way right now. Clem just playing very chilled. 6 Hellions, 2 Banshees. He's not forcing the issue. Clem feels if he macros correctly, he's favored in the long game. Wayne takes a 5th base to the front. I don't like that 5th base because that puts 2 bases on the same attack path. Ooh, Hellions are getting kind of surrounded, but they're getting some good shots off on the way. 2 Hellions for 7 Zerglings. Good defense by Wayne. You'll take that trade any day. A Hellion costs as much as 4 Zerglings, so anything trading even or even better than even is amazing for a Zerg. Banshees are rotating. 1-1 upgrades are about 30 seconds behind, so well-timed upgrades for Zerg compared to Terran. Medevac's on the way. Armory should be building sometime in the next 30 to 40 seconds. Yeah, the reason I don't like this base is because if you lose a fight on this area, you lose both hatcheries, and then you're on 3 base and you're dead. Whereas if you go far right, far left at the same time, if you lose one side, you just transfer the drones to the other side. You've got a lot of comeback potential. So I really feel, especially building it right there, Clem can push from here to here. He's right outside your base. Like, this is a terrible base. Zergs do this on Gressven as well. I'd love to hear their thoughts about how defending the front is what you just have to do, but I've been super critical of it on Gressven. I feel like building 2 hatcheries on your opponent's line, hey, it's great for defending harassment because your bases are right next to each other. Easy to defend drops. Really hard to defend a frontal push, though, so you need to be ready for that. Here comes Clem with some Marine pressure to start. Queens, Lings, Banes are there. Those Hellions have been so annoying. Extra 8 Zerglings have gone down without killing any Hellions. Queen Ling Bane does start to gather up. 66 drones only Wayne has an overwhelming amount of army. Clem sees that, and he should honestly be going home, I think. Hellions are going to dive. Great Evo block. That was smooth. Real smooth play by Wayne. That looked like Cyril almost a little bit there with the way he did that. The Marines are going to try to drop here. Wayne's looking a little bit overeager, running off creep, trying to force things. You know what? He does get revenge on those Hellions. Splits the Lings so they don't take too much splash damage either. Pretty well done there by Wayne to clear this up. He's up to 74 drones now, so he's built 8 more workers, and we would like to see him maybe go up into the 80s if he can get there. Clem's going to start pressuring the right side while building up to a much longer game. Siege tanks aren't building. He's going for Widow Mines and a second factory at the third base at the top of our screen over there with a reactor. Fourth command center is almost finished. This is a very defensive setup for Clem. And right now there's a hive on the way. Wayne is going to play a straight up macro game versus Clem. Wayne strapping on his confident shoes. He says, yeah, that's fine, man. I'll do it. Obviously, he's losing in the units lost war, but not massively, so this is kind of standard for this matchup. Top-tier Terrans will always out-trade top-tier Zergs in the just kind of harassment phase of the game, and usually through the longer game. The difference is Zerg is on 5 base, you're on 3. Zerg will have an income advantage and can afford to trade worse. But if you can limit this creep spread enough, remember, Wayne does have a bit of issues respreading the creep under this pressure. He's got a great creep schlong on this left side of the map. But look at that, finding some Banelings morphing. Clem's really starting to find some damage. And even though Wayne's up to 86 workers, he's actually way down in army supply. So he needs to find time. His Overlord sees the SCVs in the command center floating to the right side. Wayne getting his Baneling sniped over and over. The pace of Clem here is disgusting. 417 APM of pure Clem savagery. And here comes the push. Maxed out. No 2-2 on the way. +2 attack starts. No +2 armor. He's going to move down this right side. Clem looking to set up the push. Wayne's whole army, other than these Lurglings, moves to the left. At least Wayne keeps these bases alive, but he's going to lose control of this 6th base on the right. And, uh-oh, careful. He's got to get out of there. The drop on the left keeping him distracted. Wayne needs to leave a few units over there. Wow, that push gets right up in his business. Clem's so confident with the way he moves forward here, and those Lings running into the meat grinder. Uh-oh. Okay, Wayne's trying to come in and jump on this, but you can't do this just from one angle, I don't think. The Widowmine biospread is very good. The Ling Bane washing up on this army. Finally going to get rid of the tanks, but the Widowmine's causing problems. My god, a slaughter! An absolute slaughter, and he stims in the left at the same time. A backstab was meant to go across the map, but it ends up getting pulled home. Clem's engagement micro is off the charts. What the hell? This is why you don't let Clem play a standard game. The moment you let Clem play 3 command center, what did he do? What did he do? He literally just micro drops at such a high pace with non-stop focus fire in 2 places for 2 minutes straight, stacking up value, denying the creep, screwing up Wayne's situational awareness, and then he just shoved with a surprise push, microed it perfectly, and won the game. And Clem has done that to Cyril, he's done it to Rainier, he's done it to Dark, he's done it to Rogue. Clem is disgusting when you let him play his game, and after 4 games where he wasn't really able to do it, holy crap, does he show what happens if you let him play a standard. That is scary. GG, well played. Clem makes the comeback, gets the 3-2.